came across siblings really by surprise. I had been studying hysteria, both as a clinician, I'm a psychoanalyst, and I'd been working clinically with patients, and because I was asked by a publisher to write a book on hysteria, and there was something that just wasn't explained for me in the whole topic, both in a clinical situation and in the theoretical work. You know, I'd read lots of history, lots of literature, as well as psychology in the field, anthropology, a whole lot around hysteria, masses for unconscionable number of years. And then one day I thought, well, I'm either going to give up this book or I'm going to just write it and we'll see. And I started, and suddenly, what's in my field, which is psychoanalysis, the central thing is sort of the Oedipus complex. It's like a big rock in the middle of the theory. And suddenly this rock sort of shifted slightly, and there were these sort of dancing, squabbling children behind it. And I thought, oh, wait a minute, what are they doing? And I went back and read not only my own notes from clinical cases, but you know, all the classical clinical cases, all the anthropological studies and historical studies, and siblings were just everywhere. I would say in my own field there isn't a case history in which this birth of a sibling, and I'm saying the birth of the next sibling after you, isn't a major event which triggers some sort of dramatic reaction. And from that I moved on to looking at siblings, of course, and siblings became a feature of the book. And I got extremely interested and read all the sibling literature, and there was some work in developmental psychology which was good and interesting. Anthropology had a place for it, but not much observation, and so on and so forth. And I actually did another training myself in group psychoanalysis, because I started to realise that, of course, what happens with the sibling is the beginning of social life. You've got a baby up to the sort of toddler age, when it's beginning to walk and talk. Really, of course, it's in a social world. It's never not social, it's never asocial, but it isn't really seeing itself as part of a social world until another sibling comes along, or should come along. So I think it applies to only children just as much as sibling children, because only children have siblings in their fantasies and their minds, even more than people who have actual siblings. So it applies to everybody that siblings are crucially important. I'd say that for me there are two key statements to be made out of an enormous field. One is what I call the sibling trauma, and that is, there you are going along as a toddler, expecting to be the king of the world. Freud calls it His Majesty the baby, and along comes somebody and you're told, oh, you're going to have a baby sister or a baby brother, won't that be lovely? And you think, oh yes, baby, that's more me. It comes along, and far from it being more you, it's instead of you, so to speak. And so it's traumatic, because what has been your very magisterial ego, that's just emerging really as a big thing, gets shattered. And it has to be rebuilt as not the baby, but as the child, and the child is the first social person in itself, because once you know that there is somebody else there, you're not alone in the world, you know there are others. It's the self and others that you're really looking at. It's the subject in relation to others that you're getting with the siblings. And that's the first time it becomes really meaningful that you're a girl or a boy, because you're a girl and a boy in relation to a baby who is, yes, a girl and a boy of course, but really more baby than girl or boy. So it's that shattered ego with the sibling trauma, the rebuilding of the toddler's ego from being the baby as a self to being a social person, boy or girl, relating to others in the world, and then we move on to the whole social dimension of what I'll call a social ego. And so it's a very big topic indeed, and that's really in studying groups, it's because I was interested in, having trained as an individual psychoanalyst and also as a literary critic. I'd been interested in the individual in a sense, but and only theoretically, hypothetically in the social. I needed to be able to work clinically as well, and think clinically in group formations. And this is all part of a series that we're running from the psychoanalytic unit within clinical psychology in University College as a series of public lectures, in which we're running every term a public interdisciplinary lecture on a particular topic. Last term we did dreams, a psychoanalyst, an anthropologist and an art historian. This term we've done siblings, psychoanalysis, because it's psychoanalysis and other disciplines, because a lot of other disciplines use psychoanalysis, not just used in the clinic, it's used in a lot of other disciplines.